Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. We are live. I'm Ariadne Ramundakis. You can call me Ari. I work at Adobe and I'm here hosting Josh Ryan, who's our guest for today. Welcome, Josh. Happy to
Hey,
have you.
yeah, great to be here.
And Josh is joining us from Houston. He is a designer. He also says he's an absurdist and an
hmm
illustrator,
hmm
an overthinker,
Yeah,
lots of things. So
lots of
I'm
different
excited
things.
to get into that with you.
Yeah.
Um, I want to just say hi to those of you that are already joining in the chat. I already see lots of people saying hi to Josh. I think you're really popular, it seems. We have Ferry, we have Mallory, Steve, Sean,
Oh, we got Lauren Hom in the chat.
Hannah,
Hey, Lauren. Shauna.
Lauren.
Hey, Shauna. Cody Bear.
Awesome. Great to see everybody. And let us know where you're from. We love to see how far this stream is reaching and who is watching us. And we'll shout out your location in the chat. I'm in San Francisco. As I said, Josh is in Houston. And I love seeing all the different parts of the world that join in. So let us know. And today we're going to be creating a love note.
hmm
Very good for this time of year coming up on Valentine's Day. So
Yeah.
Josh, you're going to be in Adobe Fresco.
Mhm.
And I also saw that you have this other account. So you have your account on Instagram, and we can post that for those of you that haven't followed him already. It's I Make Things. And then you also have an account that shows all of this work that you've done called Intro Flirted. And
Mhm.
you've created books as well, which is really awesome.
Yeah,
So can you tell us a little bit about that and what we're going to do today?
sure. Um, so my name is Josh Ryan. I'm an designer, illustrator, absurdist, maker of things. Let's pull. You can find my website, imakethings.com. I'm also at imakethings on Instagram, TikTok, Behance, Twitch, Clubhouse, Tinder, any sort of way to connect with me. It is I Make Things.
So
Uh,
many places to
so
connect.
many places to connect with me at. Uh, and the name I Make Things came from, I'm from Texas, and here in Texas, we don't say things, we say things. Um, so you mentioned some of my lettering. So this is my good-ish lettering. Intro Flirted is a project of love notes for introverts that I started back in 2007 through Lauren Hom's side project class. Shout out to Lauren Hom in the chat. And then eventually it got turned into a couple books by my publisher, Gibb Smith. I also do some really bad lettering. The thing that holds all my work together is like the copywriting. I say I get by on like 70% being clever and like 30% execution.
Well, I think that you're selling yourself short on that because your composition is really good and the lettering is good too. But having that brain to be able to come up with these cool phrases and the copywriting, that's really unique. And you're right to say, like, that takes you that one step further in getting attention and getting a more unique, having a more unique voice. So love
Exactly.
that.
And so that's the kind of thing I want to really show people and teach people today is like how to come up with copy. I also make my own products that I sell on my website. And then I also stream a couple shows on Twitch. One is Sunday Scaries, where I talk about different professional topics related to art and design and being a working creative and how scary that is and tackling the anxiety and fear that goes along with that. And then another is one that's been on hiatus a little while. It's called Creatives on Video Calls Playing Animal Crossing. And that's an interview show where I go to like an artist, illustrator, creatives island on Animal Crossing. It's like a mix between like MTV Cribs and comedians in cars getting coffee.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Cool.
I see that we have a lot of people that have joined. I see Brazil. I see UK. So let us know where you're from. If you're just joining, we're going to jump into Fresco here. And I also have a question from Isaac, who says, how did you get into lettering?
I'm a designer by trade. By day, I work at an esports company, leading creative over there. But I kind of came into lettering just as a byproduct of design. I the concepts and the things that I was executing kind of called for a handwritten style, especially with like intro flirted. The kind of concept is it's supposed to look like a childlike handwritten love note. And so that's kind of how I found my way into lettering.
Cool. So it was mostly just you wanted to do this concept and it needed this style. So you were like, I'm going to figure out how to do it myself and learn and experiment.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of great like hand style fonts out there that you can use. But it just didn't have like, there were just letters here and there that weren't working for me. And so I started off kind of going in and fixing fonts that I had some things that I didn't like. And then after kind of doing that over and over, it was just like, oh, I don't need to work off of, it's easier to just start from scratch than to like edit this down to what I want it to be.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see Michael joined us from Portland, Oregon. Welcome, Michael. Hi, Marshall. He says he loves your work.
Thank you.
Shakir's from Saudi Arabia. Welcome. Let us know what time it is there.
So today we're gonna do a love note inspired by Adobe products. So it could be for creative, for somebody who uses Adobe products or just inspired by Adobe products. So if people in the chat have ideas around things that connect love and Adobe together, I'm just going to start writing out my kind of word list of stuff, and anything you guys want to throw in, I'll add.
Yeah, which Adobe app or product or thing are you in love with? Maybe it's a feature, like some Photoshop feature that you love and you want to write a love note to. Hi, Angela. Happy Monday. Oh, Angela says, sending some H-Town love. I guess she's also in Houston.
Hey, awesome.
Holly is also in Portland. Mary is in Woodbury, Connecticut. Roberto's in Paris. All over the world. Ikra is in India. Taylor Lee says, hey.
Taylor Lee made me, let me grab it. Taylor Lee made this awesome paper mache version of my own face. So that I don't have to show my own face anywhere anymore.
Oh yeah, so you can just pretend you're in a Zoom call and show that.
Yeah.
People will think you're there.
Exactly.
You don't have to talk.
I can just stuff like my clothes with paper and put that there and then take a nap on the couch.
They'll be like, Josh seems like he hasn't moisturized in a while. He looks a little papery. Lauren is in Michigan. Marshall's in Austin, Texas. Bruni's in Angola.
Oh, what's up, Marshall?
I'm loving that. Richard asked if you work mostly on iPad or on paper. What do you prefer?
So when I started Intro Flirted, it was completely 100% on paper. I would use marker on transparency.
Yeah, that's
tracing paper.
The best.
And I would just use Sharpie. My personal favorite is the Super Sharpie, the big one, because you can get a nice rounder. Like I like to dull them down real quick when I first get them to get like a nice thicker rounder line. And then the Sharpie brush pens as well.
Yeah.
So I used to work completely in that, and then I would scan it into Photoshop to clean it up. But now the apps on the iPad are so good that it like just completely changed the way I work.
Yeah, and you don't need to carry all that stuff around with you.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like I could just throw this one thing in there and I don't have to worry about like a Sharpie running out of ink.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, Rada. Hi, Andreas. Karina's in Austria. Oliver's in Switzerland. Lori's from California. Me too. I'm in San Francisco. Edgar says, how about the Dodge tool? I think Edgar's in love with the Dodge tool.
Dodge.
Edgar's also in Houston too. Got a lot of people in Texas. That's so cool.
Oh, Edgar. Hey, what's up, Edgar? Me and Edgar, I think we graduated together. I know we went to the same school. I think we graduated together. I am 34 years old, so that was a long time ago for me, so my memory is fuzzy.
Back in the historic times of school. Rick is in Toronto.
Anything before last year feels like ages ago.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Fill, stroke, crop, dodge.
Oh, another guy from Houston, Roberto Hernandez.
What's up,
Josh
Roberto?
is awesome.
I'm not, but thank you.
I'm really floored by the amount of countries that are coming in. Botswana, Algeria, Bangladesh.
That was one of the things with like Intro Flirted was like getting messages from people all over the country. And I did a thing where, so the book, each page in the book is like a postcard you can tear out. And so I did a thing where I was like, somebody comment on this and I'll pick one person and mail them a postcard. And I ended up like mailing postcards like all over the world.
That's so cool.
Asia, Middle East, Australia, like everywhere. So I was like, I thought like, not that I thought introverts were like only an Americans thing, but I think generally like as Americans we're very like concerned about our self-image. So I thought it was like, oh, this is just stuff that relates to me, or like I thought the references that I was making was like, this kind of only connects with people that look like me, but it connects with a whole bunch of different people, it turns out.
Yeah.
Introverts are everywhere.
We have Caroline says 2020 lasted for 5 years. LOL. And for all of those of you who are watching, we have a full schedule today. So I forgot to say that at the beginning. I just want to make sure that you stay tuned and know what's coming up. So we can actually show the schedule really quick when we have that available and go through the rest of the events for today. So make sure that you stay tuned.
I was practicing with some people yesterday, and there was a girl at Sarah Scripts that came up with a couple good ideas. One was like you're Adobeable, like you're Adobeable.
Oh, that's funny.
And then the other one was RGB
We have the schedule
Mine.
Up. Sorry, Josh.
Oh, no worries.
So we started off with Paul Trani today, and we had a few other events earlier in the day. So let us know if you caught those. We're here with Josh at 9:30. And then after that, we have 3 more streams. So keep your eyes peeled for that. They just left my screen, but I'm going to see them because I have special vision. And they're going to come back. So the next thing we have after this is the Daily Creative Challenge with Paul. He'll be back for that. And then we have Anne-Fernie Grant at 12 p.m. Pacific doing web app design. And then at 2 p.m. Pacific, we have the Daily Creative Challenge in XD with Howard Pinsky. So we have all different kinds of design happening today. Starting out with Fresco, there's web app, there's XD, so any interest that you have. any Adobe products that you're in love with and you want to write a love note to, we got you covered today. So stay tuned. Let us know how many live streams you've been watching, or if you're new to Adobe Live, because I know a lot of times we have new viewers. So I'd love to hear that. Josh, you've got a lot of material here.
Yeah, there's some, I don't know how PG the Adobe audience needs to be. Yeah, there's something. Yeah, there's some touchy areas, especially when you get to stroke and spread. That could get us in some trouble. So I think we avoid those. Phil, when we were working yesterday, Phil came up, like, because you have Photoshop Phil.
Yeah.
Filling your heart.
That's a good one.
One that we came up with yesterday, and apologies to Adobe, you're amazing, was let's make like After Effects and crash at my place. But we all love After Effects.
That's a cheeky one. Yeah.
We all love After Effects. It's our computers that are the problem.
It's just too powerful and magical for the computer.
It's too powerful. It's more that I have like 100 tabs open in Chrome, and then I'm like, oh, I'll try to render video.
Yeah, I always have too many tabs open in Chrome, and sometimes I share my screen on a call and people are like, what are you doing? Are you trying to kill your computer?
I feel like there's something with like Fresco, because the thing about Fresco is like how deceivingly natural it looks. So maybe there's something that like you are you like Fresco because you look too good to be real or something like that.
Oh yeah, that could be a good one.
Fresco.
Let's see what our chat is saying.
Too good.
Ali says RGB mine.
RGB mine. That's a good one.
That's adorable. Sam says hi from Brighton, UK. Hi. Sarah Richardson says, hi, Josh. I was in the Twitch stream last night and it was so fun.
Oh, yeah. So Sarah yesterday came up with a couple. That was the Adobe Bowl one, I do believe. And then she also had RGB Mine was one that she came up with.
That's funny. I love it.
I feel like there's something with Illustrator and curves. Like
yeah.
Like even Adobe Illustrator couldn't handle those curves or something like that.
That's good. Alexander's in Peru. Welcome. Rubesh says, I'm new. This is your first stream. Welcome. Hi, Noor. Hi, Yolanda. Yolanda's new. That's exciting that it's your first live stream. Let us know what your favorite Adobe products are so we can make sure that we consider them for love notes. Suzette is new from Cape Town. Welcome, everyone. This is awesome, and I'm getting so much in the chat. I can hardly keep up with everybody. All right. What about Adobe fonts? So I work on the Adobe fonts team, and something like You're My Type, or that one has been done for sure, but it's the first one that came to mind.
There's some font terms. We got like X height, we got weight,
width, descender, ascender. Flourish.
Ooh, flourish would be a good one. Flourish.
So is this your process? Before you create something, do you kind of jot down these ideas roughly so that you just get the creative thoughts out?
Yeah, there's like a couple different thought processes I use, and I call them hard thinking, soft thinking, and non-thinking. So this would be like hard thinking. Hard thinking is like when you sit down with like a goal, like word lists and brainstorming. Soft thinking. What was soft thinking? Soft thinking, I think, was just kind of being aware in your day-to-day life. I think. No, soft thinking was, I forgot my own terms. Soft thinking was after you've like thought about something really hard, you kind of just go like take a shower, take a nap. There's like, I feel like there's like some science to it that like when you think a lot about something, your brain kind of keeps thinking about it even when you're not actively thinking about it. So by going and doing some other tasks, it's kind of just still in there without frustrating you. So a lot of my ideas will come like driving around or like laying down to take a nap. And I think non-thinking was just kind of being aware in your day-to-day of things that could be inspiration. It's something you have to kind of like train yourself to do. But like when I was doing a whole bunch of the love notes in a row, like I could be present in like social interactions to like pull out like, oh, this would make a good thing, and then run away from the conversation. Like, sorry, forgot what you're talking about. I gotta go do a thing.
Sorry, I was non-thinking.
We
got a good one from Aiden. Are you a lasso? Because you're magnetic.
Ooh, I do like that one.
Taboka, you're in my brain. Taboka said something about typography. Sarah says, can't believe we're so close. And then she said, I'll head out.
That's a good one. That was
funny.
I feel like she should make that. Please make that and tag me in it when you make it.
Edgar mentioned the best typographic term, which is the tittle, which is the dot over the I.
Mm-hmm.
That's always brought up in these situations. Nora says, what if you think of nothing? Is it still something?
Definitely.
Very deep.
Nothing is still something, I feel like. Now we're just going to all sit down and think through that one for the rest of the stream. Yeah, there's a lot of, that's why I like soft thinking and non-thinking, because everybody kind of thinks like what I'm doing here is how the only way you can think. And it's a very brutal, exhausting way to think. So especially with like introflirted, I would kind of do this process. I would sit there and think and think and think and think and get like a ton of ideas out so that I didn't have to do it again for like another month or like 2 months, so that I could try some of the other processes. I'm feeling torn between the Fresco. Are you Fresco because you're too good to be real? And something about Illustrator not being able to handle those curves, or like, are you Illustrator because you got
your curves are so smooth?
Yeah.
Lauren says, I love you so much, I'd name my layers for you. That's good. And it's also good hygiene to name your layers.
Yeah.
So
our love is never untitled. I'm making an executive decision. I'm going with Illustrator, handle those curves. So at this point, I know the idea is something with Illustrator and curves. So then at this point, it's just me obsessing over wording.
Yeah. Chris says, you're my anchor point.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. I serif our time together, says Laura. Nice typographic one.
Maybe like call me Illustrator because I can handle those curves, because you have like the handles, the Bezier handles.
I'm thinking. Taboka says, I've started naming my layers and it honestly feels so refreshing. Good for you. I still don't name them most of the time. So you kind of mock up your layout and see roughly like what's gonna look like.
Really loose pencil stuff. And I'm bad because if you look at like intro flirted, it's a lot of the same layout over and over, like small text, big diagonal text, more small text, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
Yeah, you have your formula. So are you using the pencil brush in Fresco?
I'm using the sketch pencil brush. I pretty much use only the default brushes. I use like or Adobe brushes. Mm-hmm. There's like I like the Keith Haring brushes a lot that you can download. The manga pack is really nice. And then I also have a couple brushes from Retro Supply Co. that I use. But for the most part, like the Keith Haring and the manga brushes and some of the lettering brushes are I'm bad in that I keep buying too many brushes just because it's like every time I see like the artwork they do for the cover, it's like I could draw that if I just had these brushes. And it's like
all I need is the brushes.
It's the brushes that's holding me back. It's not that I'm just not using the brushes I have currently to their fullest potential.
Yeah. Aiden asked, how do you move the layers in Fresco? Can you show, just kind of shift this a little bit? If you go to the toolbar, the actual artwork, if you go to the toolbar under the smudge tool, just the thing that moves.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
So you can resize and move using that.
Or you can use like the little arrows to nudge it.
Yeah, I need those arrows. My finger always moves like too far. Thanks. I just wanted to show that tip. For those of you that are just starting out in Fresco, I know that sometimes there's some things that don't show up immediately when you look at the tools.
And there's that awesome live stream with Kyle T. Webster where he goes through like everything. There's like 2 of them and I think they're like a couple hours each, and like he just goes through everything, and it's like you go from nothing to knowing everything, and he's so great at explaining stuff in like a simple way that you can understand.
Yes, definitely recommend any streams that Kyle Webster has done, and you can watch the replays. They're all available on YouTube and you can find them very easily. So he does a lot of tutorials on drawing in general and especially using Fresco.
So I think I'm very much not a perfectionist, as you can probably tell by now, that I'm like first idea, best idea, and then I'm like first layout, good enough, let's go. So I think I'm gonna roll with this. I'm gonna make some grid lines. So using the ruler here to make some just guidelines for me based on the sketch.
Hi, Farah. Thanks for joining. Hi, Anthony, Francis, Chris, Adam. Jessica says, draw me like one of your, and then insert any Adobe software.
Somebody, it was in the stream I was doing yesterday. Yes, I need to drink water. Thank you, Watch.
I'll drink water too.
Everybody drink water. Dark Hours Co. at Dark Hours Co. on Instagram said like draw me like one of your Fresco girls.
Oh, that's good.
Like that was a good one. I enjoy that.
So for those of you that have just joined, we're here with Josh Ryan. We're in Adobe Fresco and we're creating a love note. And today's theme is Adobe. So we have been brainstorming what can we do related to Adobe products and create a catchy and cute saying that we can make into a love note. So Josh chose something related to Illustrator, and it's going to say something like this: call me Adobe Illustrator because I can handle your curves. And then showing an anchor point and curves at the bottom. So this is his process. You're watching it in real time. This is all live, and he's creating grid lines now and roughly mocking up what his design is going to look like so that he can then create the final piece, which is going to be a love note. If you haven't seen his other work, definitely go to his Instagram account. It's called I Make Things, and he shows a lot of his lettering work. And he also has another project called Intro Flirted, which is full of really cheeky and cute love notes that he's made into books. They've even been published. So check those out and you'll see all the inspiration behind his work. And here's the details you got to get right at the beginning: getting all your lines in, sketching it out.
Yeah, that I'm very much, since I moved on from like modifying fonts to like full on lettering, I've been like a grid maniac for the most part of just like lining everything out.
Yeah, it's really important for your composition to be stuck in those lines once you figure them out. Kim says, I didn't realize there was a ruler. Yeah, the ruler is down at the bottom right in Fresco.
Yeah.
And that's where you select it. Yeah.
And you just place it whatever thing you want and draw a line, and it automatically snaps to that line, which is so amazing.
Yeah, helps a lot. Ciao, Stefano. Hi, Dev in Dubai. Hi, Chervelle. Welcome, everyone who's just joining. Let us know if you've used Fresco or if you have any questions about how it works. I know that someone asked earlier, what's the difference between Fresco and Illustrator and Photoshop? And they're really different. Fresco is an illustration tool that we're now on the iPad that we're showing you now. Josh is sketching on his iPad. You can use it on your iPad or your phone, actually. And it has multiple different kinds of brushes. One thing that's really awesome about Fresco are the live brushes. So there's watercolor and oil paint, and they really look realistic. It's pretty impressive. So I challenge you to go and start using Fresco, try out all the brushes, try out all the features, just experiment. And if you have any questions, chime in the chat and we'll try our best to answer.
Yeah, it's like, I feel it's like a mixture of all of the drawing parts of Photoshop, all the drawing parts of Illustrator, plus that extra added thing of like the super realistic watercolor and paint modes. So it's just like everything you need to draw, basically.
It also has either pixel brushes or vector brushes, which is very useful. Angela says, I love the ability to work in vector or pixel. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it's like you can start you could start this way and then like do something vector, sketch like pixel, and then work in full vector so that you have like a scalable thing.
The grid is coming together.
4 hours later.
Yeah, we need to show a side by side of the first sketch and then the last thing.
Oh, I did the thing where I drew on the wrong layer. It only took only 30 minutes it only took 30 minutes for me to do it.
Hey Gus. Welcome to the stream. Fairy asked, what brushes do you usually use for your lettering?
So I like to use a round grungy brush, like subtly grungy. And so all these brushes are just like some version of that I like. Mm-hmm. I draw with one and I'm like, ooh, a little too grunge. It's just nitpicking the fine amount of grunge. So a lot of Kyle's running inkers, the felt tip, Kyle's rough inking. I like adding a bunch of grain and noise to my work. So Kyle's grain and noise stuff. From Retro Supply Co., I really like their Space Ranger collection of brushes, along with their unconventional tarot brushes set, which has a really nice super round inker. But yeah, mostly just round, grungy brushes.
And I see that you've added them to your favorites. So for those of you that are new to Fresco, you can star the brushes you like, and then they'll be available in your favorites. I know that it's intimidating to go through the full list and try to remember what you used. So that's a good tip. Hi, Nicole in the Netherlands. Hi, Marla. Welcome, everyone. We're here in Fresco. Let us know if you've used it before. Let us know where you're from. And we're writing a love letter that's Adobe Illustrator themed. So we got a few great suggestions from the chat on some of the products and features that they love, that they wanted to write love letters to. So if you have a funny phrase about Adobe products, let us know. And also, if you want to create something with your own phrase and send it to Josh, I'm sure he would be
please do.
Happy to see.
I would enjoy that so much.
Yeah.
I really like I love the intersection of a lot of my work is like part goofy, part serious. Like I tackle a lot of like heavy topics like relationships and mental illness and depression and things like that, but I kind of put it in a funny way to make those heavy topics a little bit more approachable, or to kind of like laugh at the things that you're insecure about, to like take power away from them somewhat. So like cheesy pickup lines, like a lot of these intro-flirted cards were like things they started off with just like funny, like high level introvert stuff of like, I don't want to go to a party, like I don't want to go in a group conversation. But then as I started like running through the surface level ideas, I started like digging into my personal experiences of like things that I was kind of embarrassed about, or things that I'm like, nobody else goes through this thing. And those, like, the deeper I dug, the more people seemed to like them. And so that kind of helped me get over the embarrassment of those.
Yeah, that's great.
Andy J. Pizza, wonderful artist, illustrator, podcaster, has a thing that he says that like I keep forgetting what it is. In the specific is the broad, or something like that. It's basically like the more hyper specific you get, the more you're actually connecting with people.
Yeah, it resonates more with people when they can identify with something that they also didn't feel like they could share, I think, and they appreciate it. And then you get more commentary and support about it, I think.
I think that's like one of the reasons people or artists especially don't like the live, laugh, love kind of trope of art of meme, is that it's so non-specific. It's just like live, laugh, love. Like, what are you living for? What are you laughing about? Like, what are the things that you love? Like, get specific. Maybe that's one, like live, laugh, lasso tool.
Clever says, let's try out some blending modes.
I gotta get this grid. Oh yeah. Okay, we're almost done with this grid. And then I'm going to find out that it doesn't actually work. Yeah. Just going to make this one like 1 rulers high.
And I know that you are doing purely your own hand lettering here, but I just wanted to point out for those that are new to Fresco that there's a few features that came out later last year, so they're pretty recent. And one of them is the text tool. So you can actually insert fonts into your artwork using that tool, and that's the T that Josh just clicked on right there. And if you have a Creative Cloud subscription, there's 18,000 fonts included. So you can go there and just browse to your heart's content. And if you click on more fonts, Josh, at the bottom, you'll actually go into the font tags that were curated by our team. So you don't have to do it now because I can just talk about it. But if you go there and you browse, there's like different categories, and it's easy to just find something that will fit your composition. So that's a cool feature that, what are you gonna write? Live, live, laugh, love. Perfect. I think you're done. That's all you need to do.
Well, we need to pick a nice font for it.
That's funny.
This is gonna get me banned from the Adobe stream forever.
No.
all the designers are immediately leaving. The chat is plummeting.
How to make the designers leave the chat. And there's also like the shape tools right above that. So there's a lot of tools that have been added to make designing a lot easier, which I like. And more features are being added as we speak. So there's a lot of people behind this tool and listening to your suggestions. So definitely try it out. Golden Rose said, I've been working more in Fresco and it's becoming such a big part of my creative expression. Good to hear.
Okay. Need to get out of the multi-select thing. Oh no, I just put live, laugh, love back on.
Rada said, we're still here. She basically he's saying like, you're not going to get rid of us. Whatever we do, they'll still watch. That's some loyalty there. Thank you, chat. Laura says, at least you didn't use Comic Sans. Yeah, see, he was being very considerate by using Chalk Duster instead of Comic Sans.
Don't tempt me. Okay, so we got it all gridded out. Next is to do a rough thing. Would you mind if I took a minute to shout out some people?
Not at all.
Shout outs. I I don't like
Ooh, we have a
having
new screen.
I don't like having a platform without sharing that platform with other people, because I feel bad having the spotlight when there's such other amazing people. So these are some of my friends that you guys should check out. There's Jen Kim, who is like, oh, she's like who I wish I could letter as. Like when I picture the things that I create in my head, it looks like what she creates, but I'm not that good. So she's at Jen's desk. There's Danica Mitchell, who lettered this Japanese phrase "daijoubu," which is like it's all good. If you go to Japan, you'll hear "daijoubu" a lot. It's just like no problem. So if something happens, like if you bump into somebody and you say sorry, they'll be like "daijoubu." And that's Danica. Crystal Marshall, who works for Lauren Hom, who was in the chat earlier, is just an amazing everything creative. Like she can letter, she can illustrate, she can do photography. It's not fair. Gina Baranco, I cannot pronounce the Spanish correctly. She's Gina Paola on Instagram, and like her color palettes are like, her illustration's amazing, but her color palettes are like, she has like, she calls it Pantone G, is like her personal style color palette, and it's just like you see it and you recognize it. It's so good. Lisa Taniguchi, here is the kanji for love in Japanese, which is ai. If you want to say I love you, you'd say aishiteru, is I love you. And Lisa's an amazing illustrator. I really like how she like, in Japanese like kanji writing, the order of the strokes is very important, and it's cool how she like broke down each stroke into like a different color. And then last, Nina Tsur, who has this project where she makes like mix CDs like from back in the day, and she draws covers for them, and they're really amazing. Now that's what I call existential dread. And like I think this is all digital that she does this in, but it looks like she took a marker to it. It's amazing. But those are the shout outs.
Awesome. It's great to see all the people that inspire you as well as seeing your work. So thanks for sharing those.
That's like one of the other big tips I think for like coming up with clever copy is like surrounding yourself with other people that are pretty clever, because it forces you to get to be more clever. I think growing up, like all my siblings, like we were just like clever ways to pick on each other and like mean things to call each other. And so it's like you had to get clever pretty fast, or else you're just gonna keep getting burned. But like having people, and there's like a lot of times where I'll be like DMing with somebody on Instagram and like joking back and forth, and then like one of us will say something that's like, oh, that would be a great letter, like I need to letter that, can I letter that? Or if it's like another artist, I'd be like, you letter, like if you don't letter that, I'm gonna letter that. And so then we have to fight over who gets to letter it.
Yeah, it definitely helps to surround yourself with people that challenge you and make you want to be better, and also that are supportive and will give you advice. You know, not having someone that you can send maybe your artwork to and be like, what do you think? And someone who can be honest with you, that's also really helpful, I've found. So that's another reason to connect with Josh. You can connect with him on all the media. And he does Twitch streams too. So he's created a really great community of people that help each other and support each other.
Yeah, I need to start taking some of my streams over here to Behance. When I started streaming, Behance I think was just starting the streaming business, and so there wasn't really like a dedicated place for art streaming aside from Twitch, which does have a great art community, but I think it skews more fantasy game style art and less like design and illustration and lettering. So there wasn't really a great place to do that. But now that Behance is on the game.
Yeah.
I need to start moving over here. I don't know if the Animal Crossing show fits for Behance, but we'll see.
You never know. You have to try it out. Sarah Richardson had another great phrase, and I'm going to modify it a little bit, but she said, I'll still love you even if you use papyrus. I think that was good.
I won't.
But that was like a love phrase that we could letter. And everyone loved the shout outs that you did, especially the Japanese designs. I'm getting a lot of that in the chat. So definitely go and follow those artists. You can rewind and go back to that page if you didn't catch their handles.
Yeah.
Teddy says hi from Indonesia.
I've been studying a lot of my quarantine project was studying Japanese. So it's great to see other like creatives do a lot of stuff with Japanese.
Yeah, that's an ambitious project. That's great. I tried doing Japanese on Duolingo a while ago, but I need a lot of pressure to motivate me to do it because it's like 1 week I'll be really excited about it and then I'll stop doing it. So it hasn't worked out for me lately.
Yeah, I have a tutor that I see every week, and so it's like the sunken cost thing of like, it's like, well, I already paid for these tutoring lessons. I gotta show up, and I don't want to like the threat of like showing up to a one-on-one tutoring session and not having done like the homework or something like that. The fear of getting like, I have a big fear of getting yelled at. It's just like my biggest fear in life is like, please, like punch me, kick me, just don't yell at me. And so yeah, the pressure of not getting yelled at helps me to study constantly.
Selena says Duolingo sends email reminders. Yes, even that. I think they just gave up because I used to get email reminders, or maybe I just got immune to them. At first I was like, oh, I have to do it. But one thing about the pandemic and quarantine is my expectation was very high on how creative I would be and how much stuff I would do because I had all this time. But one outcome is that even though you have more time, it doesn't mean that your brain is operating at the same capacity. I don't know if you've found that. My patience didn't change. I still had the same amount of patience. My brain was affected by everything going on. So I wasn't as ambitious as I thought I would be.
Yeah, I definitely like picked up too many hobbies and I was like, okay, I need to whittle this down to like a reasonable number of things. All right, so now we have a really bad MS Paint type of drawing of where the letters would go on top of that pencil. So I usually try to get everything in like under 3 passes. So this is pass number 2. So maybe 1 or 2 more passes and we'll have it.
I'm getting some font questions in the chat. If you have any questions about Adobe fonts, let me know, or you can even message me on Behance and I'm happy to answer. Peter is here from Chicago. Hey, Peter, welcome. So I see you, Josh, you did that first really rough sketch, then you did another one, and now you're doing another one on top. How many do you usually do until it's the last one?
Usually, like I try to get it in like 3.
Yeah.
With like there was like the series I did that's just like marker on tracing paper. That was like I limited myself to like 2. Like I get 2, and so usually like first pass was a pencil and then marker on top of that. So for this, because it's Adobe and I want to, really polish it up, maybe 4. I might go 4. I might go crazy.
Sometimes I do exactly what you're doing, and there's like 5 different ones, and then I just create a whole new one, tracing the last one I did. That's like very fresh, and it's like after a couple days. So there's so many versions until the last one that comes out, and I think that happens for most people, that there's so much that they did to plan for what you see, and it's not appreciated as much as I would like. I don't think people realize how many versions there are, even in your brain, before they even get sketched.
Yeah, it's like, I do a lot of like sketching in my head. And
it's
really
like the not thinking, the not sketching.
Like the biggest thing is just like getting the words right, and then just thinking about like chunks of like, because I use the same layout over and over, because why not? It's like thinking about like, what are the chunks and like how do those chunks fit together? Okay, let's go. That is too
Are you
thick.
a point? Because I'd love for us to join together. That's good, Kelsey.
Kelsey LeBlanc. Kelsey works with me.
Cool.
At Mainline. Shout out to the people watching from Mainline. Kelsey, get back to work. I'm just kidding.
What are you doing? Wait, aren't you still supposed to be working? It's Monday.
I'm the boss, so I can kind of do that. I put in a time off request for this. Yeah, Kelsey, we did some Valentines to send out to employees of the company, and she did some really awesome gaming themed love notes.
She says, you didn't see me.
Myra's in the chat. Shout out to Myra.
Hi, Myra.
Myra also works with me. So we do, my day job, we do a lot of esports live streams. And so being on a live stream is, I'm familiar with the other side of the live stream. And Myra is usually like a mod extraordinaire. So she starts trying to ban people in the chat. That's just her instincts kicking in.
She has another funny love note idea. Are you a vampire because you know how to count? Hey ya! That was what she said. I didn't say it. Myra says you're killing it in front of your camera. I love hearing that. I hope she was talking about me.
Mm-hmm. We're all killing it. The chat's killing it. You're killing it.
I have to say the chat is on fire today. Thank you everyone for entertaining us and asking so many questions and being interested and watching.
I guess maybe we should start asking people. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to make a love note based solely on your suggestions. So if there's like a theme, if there's a theme that we should hit tomorrow, I guess throw it in the chat.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be Adobe themed, right?
Yeah, it could be anything.
Any theme for a love note. Let us know in the chat.
This is like,
And
whose line is it anyway of design?
Every line will be a different person's word. Yeah, let us know. And if you make a suggestion, you better be here tomorrow to see if we do it.
Let me get fancy with these.
Oh, fancy crossbars. There you go.
Because like curves, I did one really good, and that got me excited that I could do both of them very good. And this is just going to be the next half hour of this stream. It kind of looks like
Tiffany.
A guy
Thanks
going
for joining.
like this.
Yeah, Illustrator.
That R is really doing some stretching to fill in that space. Oh well.
You can move it all over and have an entrance stroke on the I, maybe, and then make the R less wide.
It's a good idea.
Hi, everyone who hasn't been here the whole time. If you've just joined, we're in Adobe Fresco. We're with Josh, and he is creating a love note. And the theme is Adobe. So this one says, call me Adobe Illustrator because I can handle your curves. And for tomorrow, we are, oh, my voice. Tomorrow, we're going to be making another love note, but the theme is yet to be determined. So we want your suggestions. Let us know a theme, or even if you already have a theme in your mind and you have a cool phrase, let us know that too. And we're going to be taking your suggestions into account tomorrow for the next segment, which will be at the same time, same place. Lorena asked if you're working on the iPad. Yes, we're on the iPad on Adobe Fresco. And can you remind us this brush that you're using, Josh? We're getting some questions from Odette and a couple other people.
This brush is felt tip opaque marker from Retro Supply Co.
All right, so you purchased that separately and downloaded it, and it's in Fresco now, right?
Yep, I imported it from my Photoshop brushes, which is another great feature of Fresco, is that you can import stuff.
Yeah. So there's also tons of brushes that are already included, the brushes that Kyle Webster created, and you can also import brushes. Like Josh was saying, he sees these ads for brushes on Instagram and online, and they always have really cool colors and layouts, and sometimes you think like, I could do that if I only had that brush. So if you want to get those brushes, you could also use them in Fresco as well. Dylan said it was like the wacky arm flailing tube man, like
wacky
the car
waving
dealership.
Inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky waving
like
inflatable
what
arm
are those
flailing
called?
tube man.
What are those called? Oh yeah, they have like 7 words in their name.
They had like a desktop one, and it just, something about the physics of it doesn't work, that it just kind of stands up and then like slowly falls over.
Oh.
Shout out to Dylan. Dylan also works with me. Dylan, get back to work. But Dylan and I have known each other since high school. So me and Dylan started doing design together in high school. And Dylan is, no exaggeration, one of the best graphic designers I know, hands down.
Wow.
He has pushed me from high school till today to be better and better. He's just that good at design. It's maddening.
That's great.
It's frustrating, but we're friends.
Lillian, yes, he's using an Apple Pencil.
I also have this grip on it because
oh yeah, and you have your little glove.
In my glove, I had to put my glove on just to look cool in case anybody like comes over.
Yeah.
I like
when people ask like, are you really working? because you're just sitting there drawing, and then you're like, yeah, I am. I have my special glove and my pencil gripper thing. I have all my equipment.
I need to get some of like the computer sunglasses, like the blue light glasses.
Yeah, I've got my goggles, and they're like, those are just glasses for your computer screen? Yeah, I need them because it's hardcore. Kelsey says she loves my shirt. Thank you. This is, it says Beirut. I got it from Everpress after the Beirut explosion, and it was raising money for that. I really like the design too. Selena says you look cool with your glove on.
Shout out to Selena, another amazingly talented letterer. She's been on the stream, I think, once or twice. Been on here doing actually good lettering, not what I'm doing right now.
Ferry asks what kind of pens you use to do hand lettering on paper. You showed us earlier that you really like Sharpies.
Yeah, pretty much just Sharpie. I'm not
Don't the fumes
fancy.
like bother you after a while?
It just makes the drawing more fun.
Someone's like, I can't read this. Is this lettering? And you're like, yeah, why?
Yeah, man. I was lettering and then I decided to draw the whole universe.
Yeah, the Sharpie brush pens are really great. When I first bought them, I was so excited. I'm like, I can letter on anything. But then no one would let me letter on their possessions. So I just started lettering on like my garbage can and stuff. So I have a little trash can that says things on it.
That's what, like, I really like a thick round brush. And it's like most of the brush pens you get are really built for like super tapered kind of strokes, like really calligraphic type stuff, that the Sharpies were just like perfect of like, it puts down like a really thick, heavy line with like a nice round edge to it. And it's like it's more rigid and felty, the brush tip. So it's a little bit more forgiving pressure wise.
Yeah.
You don't have to have like super fine control to make an even line.
Hi, Parth. Parth says, Josh's team be like, let's cheer up the boss.
None of you are getting raises.
You definitely have a lot of friends in the chat, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's like I would not be here. That's why I shouted out people earlier. Like all of this, like I was much less a much less confident person. I don't know if I want to work this hard. What time is it? 12:30.
Yeah, we have less than an hour left.
Yeah, I'm not going to work that hard.
What's next in your process?
I think we go over this one more time and just get everything nice and clean and even.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
But yeah, I was not a super confident person with my art, and so it's only all the people that encourage me that get me kind of going. Don't want to use this brush either.
And another thing about the brushes tapering and stuff, I know you were talking about analog brushes, but if you're using the digital ones, yeah, you can go into those settings, and if you don't want it to taper at all, you can set it for that. If you have a lot of fine-tuning capabilities with Fresco in those brush settings. So I encourage everyone to explore those. Of course, smoothing is our best friend. It makes it a lot easier.
I'm overthinking this.
Well, you are a professional overthinker, according to your shirt.
Yeah, according to my sweatshirt. By Miss Winden. Miss Winden on Instagrams. I would like a law to make all letters straight lines from here on out. We need to redo the alphabet to be straight lines only. It'll really...
But what about those curves? This whole thing is about curves.
All right, so we need like the opposite. We need a separate...
Got it. I will keep that in mind because, you know, on the Adobe Fonts team, we have to be involved in these decisions too. So we'll have to sign on to the law as well.
Yeah, the powerful font lobby has to get involved. It'll be great for business because it'll double or triple the amount of fonts that need to get made. It'll just be a boom of new fonts to...
Yeah, created the first digital fonts couldn't have curves because our technology wasn't sophisticated enough. You know, our screens didn't have these high resolutions, so they were just pixel fonts. And it's really interesting to see how type designers worked with these constraints. They look pretty good to me. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's like all people creating like crazy. I downloaded like a pixel black letter font that was just like, you must have tortured yourself to make this, but it's so cool looking.
Yeah. Everyone's talking about wearing a glove and not wearing a glove.
I didn't start the stream with it, but then I kept hitting things with my stubby hands. And so I put the glove on.
Yeah, I think it's up to each person what they feel comfortable. If you want to try it out, definitely. I've never used it, but I feel like it's the kind of thing that you don't know until you have it. And then you're like, oh, I need this. Sarah asked if I have a favorite font. This is the kind of question that I get a lot, though I feel bad, you know, when someone asks me that. But I do have a style that I really like, and it's high contrast styles. So if you think of like the Vogue logo, these kind of fonts are called Dudones, and they just have a really high. All right, we're getting further along in our design here. Amy Hood is in the chat.
What up? Amy. I think Amy is who recommended me to do this stream. So
awesome.
Shout out to her.
That's great. Andrew asked if you've tried a stand for the iPad when you draw.
I
so that
haven't.
You're not like leaning.
I feel like that's just going to complicate it more. I'm used to being like hunched is my style, but I got the standing desk so that I hunch less and move around more.
Yeah, that's good. I'm always hunching. So sometimes it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I just invest in a foam roller and keep hunching is my...
Hi, Happy Impulse.
Oh, shout out to Happy
That's
Impulse.
Your friend.
Roberta, Happy Impulse's work is so good. It's so amazing. I feel like people click through to her Behance profile and be amazed.
Cool.
She has such style. It's so good.
We should look it up. Amy asked what are some of our favorite lettering accounts to follow on Instagram, and Josh talked about a lot of his favorite accounts, and he hyped up some people earlier. So if anyone in the chat didn't catch that, it's about 30 minutes ago. So do a little rewind. You'll see the pink screen where he shouts out some of his favorites. That was really great. I follow so many people that I admire. I just can't, I have to think about it.
That's what I was
Who are
like.
my favorites?
I was like, I'm doing a stream. I got to make a list of people to shout out. And it's no joke. The list was literally like 60 names long of like people I need to shout out. And I narrowed it down to 50. I narrowed it down more than that, but most of them are popping in the chat, so it makes it easy to not have to shout them out.
I'm looking up Roberta now.
It's like the style is like, how does she get clean vector grunge? Like it's grungy, but it's all vector. And it's not like distressed grunge. It's just like,
yeah, that's really awesome.
I'm going to break my brain if I try to explain it more, but it's so good.
Just go and follow her.
Just go follow her. It'll be much easier. And there's a lot of like, as like an 80s, 90s kid, there's like a lot of 80s, 90s references and like video game references. So it's very, very up my alley.
Yeah, we need our references, because I feel like lately there's a lot of like Gen Z versus millennial friendly competition because of TikTok. And I'm always getting these notifications of like, why you are old. All the Gen Zers say that you shouldn't be doing this. And I'm like, I need more people of my generation putting out content so I don't feel like I'm irrelevant. But yeah, I love the 90s content for sure.
I mean, I feel like everything is old is new again. Like it's all kind of coming back around. Like people are like, I'm not talking crap about Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is amazing, but Billie Eilish's style, it's like, that was the 90s. That was, for me.
Yeah, like we all had combat pants and
just like big baggy clothes and like hyper neon colors. Like I love seeing it come back around. It's beautiful.
So Josh is using a brush from Retro
Supply Co.
Retro Supply Co. And it was the mono weight one.
I was for the other ones. Gosh, I forget what brushes I'm using. My watch is telling me I need to stand.
We showed it earlier.
Yeah.
You can rewind and see. But for now, you're using a different one for this next part, right?
Yeah, I've been hopping around brushes so much that I forgot what I used, which would be a problem if I was a perfectionist, but I am not, so.
Luckily, not a perfectionist. Amy says, Missy Elliott walked so Billie Eilish could run, fashion-wise. That's so true.
I mean, Missy Elliott's still running. She came out with like that trap song, that trap style song a little while ago that was like, what's up, I'm back, I can do trap too.
Yeah, she'll never be out of style.
It's like J-Lo coming out to do the Super Bowl and then the inauguration. Like,
I know.
Respect, mad respect.
Thanks, Cody, for putting that Retro Supply link in the chat. All right, now come the curvy crossbars.
Kind of made them go into each other now. All right, all right.
All right, so all the lettering is done.
I'm just gonna draw this like a Bezier curve booty type thing.
Oh, now I see why you did two of them. I didn't get it at first.
Let's turn that smoothing all the way up.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Oh, that's money right there.
Looks pretty good to me. Andy says, I struggle with confidence too. I think most of us do, and it's good to be able to talk about it and have a support system. And I think what Josh was saying earlier in the stream was that he started posting more personal and deeper thoughts, and it really resonated with people. So it goes to show that being vulnerable and putting yourself out there really pays off. Ryan says, a hello to Josh from Co-Loop.
Oh, hey, Ryan Appleton. One of the people behind Co-Loop, along with Andy J Pizza.
Nice. We were just talking about Andy.
Kara's in the chat. Hey, Kara. Kara's also an amazing Texas illustrator who I think has been on Adobe several times because she is also amazing.
Hey, Kara. Hey, Charles.
The other thing that helped my confidence was realizing that nobody cares. Like nobody, like some people will troll you, online, but it really doesn't. I think like the older you get, the more you realize that like people's opinion doesn't really matter. Which is one of the great things about getting old. It's just like somebody comes up to you like making fun of you, you're like, whatever. I'm 34 years old. I got to go pay bills. Get out of my face. I've got bigger things to worry about than your criticism. Though it still hurts sometimes.
Yeah, that's like definitely true.
It's good to like have a space to like work in that nobody's watching. There's like some kind of a comfort to that.
Like right now?
Like right now, I know nobody's
just
watching.
Me and you.
We're just hanging out.
All right.
That's good enough. I think maybe we take this to the computer, but I want to shout out more people real quick first. Selena, who is in the chat. Selena Saldivar, Isolanita on Instagram. Amazing letterer. Steph, aka Bean Police. I love Bean Police's work so much. She's just got such a great illustration style, and it's just so fun and funny. Jessica Molina, amazing letterer and illustrator at C Just Letter on Instagram. My buddy Carlos Hernandez, who's one of the first people to push me. I was just doing screen printing by myself in his studio, not sharing it with people, not selling it. And Carlos was like, share it, sell it, and really pushed me to start my art career. Just a shout out to Carlos. He's an amazing screen printer and illustrator. Lauren Kinslow here in Houston at Lauren Ipsum. amazing letterer and illustrator, and then Levi, aka Gritzco, another amazing illustrator and maker of things here in Houston. I love his stuff so much. He has that great like retro style, and everything just feels so like handcrafted and timeless. So those are more people.
Great. Thanks for sharing those.
I'm going to export this, and then I'm going to move to the computer.
Tanya loves it. And she's a Gen Xer. Now everyone's talking about their generation. Eric says, my opinion of my work always gets in the way. Still working on it after more than 50 years on the planet. Keep on trucking on.
So maybe tomorrow the theme is like a love note, a generational love note from like millennials to Gen X, or like Gen X to what's the new one, Gen Z?
Yeah.
Maybe that's tomorrow. So let us know. I'm gonna hop over to desktop here. Hopefully that works.
Cool. So while we're doing that, while that comes up, Golden Rose says, I want to write to boomers. I would like a generational love note. All right, well, let us know what ideas you have. So we see your computer.
I don't have a lot of great things to say to boomers. Give us our money. Worked hard for it.
Golden Rose says they need love and encouragement. Everybody does.
Everybody does.
I think you're being really harsh, Josh. Bye, Kara. Thanks for joining.
Had to think for a second which way a clock goes. I know it now. Got it. Good.
All right, so we were in Adobe Fresco and we moved the artwork over to the computer, and now we're in Photoshop. So you can see how seamlessly you can just import that artwork that you created with all those layers that you already created. So it's a great way to start with a foundation of having those different layers, and you can then easily continue on your computer. Oh, adding a little grit.
Oh, grit. I just pull on this. I use the same grit on everything. Don't tell anybody. It's just us.
Hi, Latif. So we're nearing, we have about 20 minutes of creation time left. So this is getting into the final stretch here.
I'm going to take a nap real quick and then get back to this. Oh, that's what I was going to do.
Tanya says, Billie Eilish is totes biting off my high school fashion style. Yeah, I think a lot of us get flashbacks when we see her outfits. But she does have a lot of original style too. So you're incorporating the Illustrator logo in there?
I just want to get the color palette, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the lettering can be the brown?
Yeah. Call all of this.
Naming our layers, very important.
Just so we can see the evolution, I'm gonna name these. I feel like there was one step between here that I'm missing somewhere. Yeah. That's sketch one.
This is the kind of step that it always seems like you don't have time to do, but saves so much time in the end. Just naming everything and getting organized when you bring it into another app.
All right, let's go.
Oh. Make those handles pop.
Make it pop.
So for those that weren't here the whole time, we started in Adobe Fresco. Josh created this illustration. Now we're in Photoshop. Now he changed the colors. He used the Illustrator logo color palette to recolor this piece. He renamed all his layers so he could track which was first and just look at the process. Now he added a shadow. He's adding a shadow to the main word, which is Illustrator. And don't forget your little handle at the bottom that wasn't white.
Thank you. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's probably a better way to do this, but this is how I do it. There's like that TikTok thing that's like, this is how they tell you to do it, but this is how I do it. This is how you're supposed to do it, but this is how I do it.
There's no right way. It's just whatever you're used to doing. If it works, then it's right. Nice. It's looking good. Making it pop. It's amazing how in like 5 minutes it looks so much better. Just so much more interesting to look at.
Yeah, it's like a lot of times people will be like working on something like, this is terrible, this is terrible, this is terrible. It's like, trust the process. It'll come together.
What does everyone think in the chat? Let us know.
Pulling in a paper texture from Retro Supply Co.
Sarah, Myra, Xenia, all love it. Kirk loves it. Happy Impulse loves it. Selena, hey Selena.
We shouted out Selena earlier.
Yeah. This love note, what would you think? That's another question. If it was someone that you had a crush on and they sent you this letter, I would definitely love it. I would be like, you get me. Jessica asked if you joined in on Adobe Max 2020 when it was all virtual.
I did.
Did you have any favorite sessions?
It was finally in my price range. I liked Shauna Lynn, who was in here earlier. Shauna Lynn Panchezin did a great illustration tutorial. Like Max, it's like there's so many talks that I'd have like.
Yeah, it's hard to remember everything you watched, but the good thing is that they're available online, so you can rewatch anything you want. For those in the chat that weren't able to join in and watch live, they're all there. So definitely check out those replays. Farah says, I'd be very impressed if someone used this line on me. I know, I would be like, okay, you're special. Tanya said, I'd be so flattered, I might cry a bit.
Call that final-ish.
Have you always added the grit to your work?
It's a good way to hide not being good at stuff. It's a nice way to just like hide distressing stuff. Makes like, oh, the imperfections kind of just disappear there. So I'm gonna do final-ish, and then I'm gonna do one where I just like flatten all this stuff.
It seems like people gravitate more to the things that look more real. So that grit just adds that organic feel to it. Cody loves the grit, gives it a vintage vibe. Yeah. Reverb Mike says true grit. Oh, okay. I tried to like that movie, but I didn't.
Like in the old days of Vector, the old Wild West Vector days. I'm gonna have this thing called Rough Edges Automator. I do not remember where I got it from. Probably True Grit Texture Supply or Retro Supply Co. Let's see what it does. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nope, nope. Did not like that. I merged something that shouldn't be merged. Oops. Don't do this at home.
It's okay, no one's watching.
Nobody's watching. Nobody saw me screw this all up.
Sarah, we have live streaming almost every day here on Behance. So for this particular stream with Josh, we will be back tomorrow at the same time. And I would encourage you to look at the schedule and see what's coming up, because there's a lot of material out there. There's a lot of replays on YouTube as well that you can look at. All of the live streams we've done here on Adobe Live for years. So there's tons of tutorials and challenges and just live streams of, you know, people doing what they do. But today we have a full schedule, and after us is Paul Tranny with illustration, and Fernie Grant is at 12 Pacific with web app design, and then we have Howard Pinsky doing the XD challenge. So definitely stay tuned for all of that, and you know, you can find us here every day. So you can stay on all day today, all day tomorrow. We'll be here. And if you have any suggestions for tomorrow, we are doing another love note, and the theme is pretty open. We want to get suggestions from the chat. So let us know if you have any suggestions. We've had a suggestion about generations, like Generation Z to Millennial to Baby Boomer, multi-generational love notes.
Writing that one down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're just about done with this one. And by just about done, I mean I'm done. I'm not going to do any more on this.
I'm over it.
I'm over it. The concept's there. I'm happy with the vector art arc buns.
Yeah, I love that. So can you go through the process and show like through your layers and show like the first sketch and how it progressed to this? Because I think that would be really cool.
Yep. So we started with this. So we started in Fresco for the people that weren't with us earlier. We started in Fresco. I sketched this out really quickly with the Fresco pencil raster brush. Then we go over that with a MS Paint looking brush right here. Still in Fresco. Then we go over that one more time with a cleaner brush I feel like we did one more after that. Yeah, we did one more after that. We did one more after that I lost somewhere in the shuffle. But at that point, we took it here into Photoshop, where I pulled the color palette from the Adobe Illustrator icon, which happy accident gave it this like Wild West looking feel. I'm totally genius. I planned that on purpose from the start, from the beginning. I knew that was what was going to happen. And then I just started colorizing it, adding in some grunge and some distress. And then I took that distress one step further. And then here we are. Call me Adobe Illustrator, because I can handle your curves.
So good. So you usually do, all the ones I've seen, the love notes you've done have been the same color, like the red. Have you ever done different colors like you did today, or was this just a special
Yeah,
edition?
let's pull up some old files and go through those. I've done different colors. Let's pull it up. For Pride, I was doing a series of like what the relationship bases would be for introverts. So first base for introverts is joining a group conversation. Third base, sustained eye contact. It's very hard for us, but for Pride, I decided to do something like not goofy, like something serious, which is accepting each other as we are, and I did different colors for that one. Just because I think that's like what anybody I think of like wanting to be loved is just being like accepted for who you are, with your imperfections and everything.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the thought process behind this. And we can kind of look at the layers here. Like everything's kind of separate layer. Again, that white drop shadow. I ran through the grunge on this one too, and we kind of masked out the background. This is when I still did physical Sharpie on paper. So this was all a Sharpie on paper that I scanned in and then hyper contrasted it to just get a stark black and white. Ran through some distressing on that.
Did you use a scanner with your piece of paper, or did you use your phone, or how did you bring it in?
I used a scanner. I have used the phone scanners are amazing now. That I for some of these when I've been like on the go and I didn't have my scanner, like I could pack a scanner in my backpack.
Yeah.
I definitely used some of these, like some of those phone scanner applications, and they worked like just as good. I think they worked really good for the backgrounds. The only thing that was like iffy with them was like getting a nice dead on, like if you're really finicky about like your type layout, it could get a like it'll be a little bit off, but I'm not a perfectionist, so
yeah, that's working in your favor.
Yeah.
On Adobe Capture, that's a really good one to scan things in, and you can edit it in the app and like erase the little parts that you don't want. So I use that a lot.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you can pull in Adobe Capture to Fresco, right, to make brushes from your captures? Or is that a different application that pulls it in?
I'm pretty sure you can make brushes from the images or shapes that you capture, and then it works as a brush in Photoshop or Fresco. So you can also capture, like, if you see letters that you want to find a similar font that looks like them, you could capture type, patterns, shapes, brushes. Like, there's so many different things. So there's a lot in that app. Odette says, I've used it. Yeah.
Do we have any last minute suggestions for what we should make a love note for or to tomorrow? So far, I'm leading with a generational love note. but I'm open to other ideas.
Yeah, let us know more suggestions. I'm just looking at my plant that's next to me, maybe something for your plants, because I feel like they need a lot of care and love. And a lot of us have bonded with our plants during our quarantine time.
I do a plant love note.
Yeah, any other suggestions? I love these that are about the introverted stages.
Oh yeah, the introverted bases.
Sustained eye contact.
Sustained eye contact. Let's pull up another one. I think we skipped second. We skipped second base and went right to third, which is,
Oh no. Why
it's good if you can get it, but really you should try to spend time on all the bases and enjoy them. Consecutive social media likes. I'm one of those people that always thinks that like everybody's paying attention to like what I'm liking. It's like you like 2 photos in a row, and like I think they understood what I meant. I think they know what's going on here. I like 3 photos.
Oh yeah, if you like photos that they posted a long time ago, that means you're just obsessed with them and you're in love.
That can get that's a risky move.
Very risky.
There's a lot of ways to play the social media like game. I'm going to come out with a book for like flirting via social media interactions.
We have some suggestions. Takesha says the generational one sounds good. Tanya says love note to our pets. Odette says love note to our poor technology and internet. Jessica says self-affirmation love notes.
Like that.
Reverb Mike says baseball. Alessandra says love note for our cozy beds, because that's where I've been during quarantine. I think a theme is being in your house and learning to appreciate being inside.
Maybe I guess quarantine love note maybe.
Yeah, and we should definitely appreciate if we have a roof over our heads and a cozy bed and our plants around us. At least we have those things, even if we can't go to fun outdoor events.
Yeah. These are good.
Yeah, thanks for your suggestions, everyone.
Self-affirmation. Baseball's good. As a Houstonian, nobody has anything bad to say about the Astros in our championship. It was 100% legit, and anyone who says otherwise is lying.
Very absolute.
Very absolute. Here's another love note I made last year. I don't know if anybody watches the show I Think You Should Leave on Netflix, which is a sketch show. There's this old man that makes fun of a guy saying that he's in love with his mother-in-law. So I made this love note of him dabbing as he does, saying that I love you more than Paul loves his mother-in-law.
That's funny. So we are pretty much at the end of our stream, and we had such a fun time today in Fresco and Photoshop. And ironically, we were in those tools, but we were declaring our love for Illustrator. So we covered all the bases today.
Yeah. Everyone was represented.
Yes. And thanks everyone for joining us. Josh, thank you so much. And we'll be back tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned. There's a lot more happening right after us. Paul Tranny is going to be coming in, and he's got some great tips for you. So stay tuned. Catch us back here tomorrow. Josh, I'll see you then.
Yeah, see you tomorrow for more love notes.